Barcelona 3, Levante 0. Perfect early kickoff game to watch on this Sunday to put Barcelona back at the top of the La Liga standings, rightfully so. Breeze in the park, man, like it really was. This game was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I will say in the first 16 or so minutes, they did have two clear opportunities that they created. One right off the kickoff, and then the next one was a good through ball that goes through Koundé's legs on the outreach of Frankie de Jong. And I think it was Romero is how you say his name. I'm not sure. But outside of that, they really didn't threaten us. And we did everything that we needed to do in that first half to make sure that the second half was as comfortable as it turned out to be. They really didn't create anything in that second half. And we had a few opportunities that we created as well. We ended up getting that third goal. Probably should have had a fourth. Great saves from Ryan on Rafinha's header, and then the rebound from Fermin could have made it 4. But like I said, man, I'll take a 3-0 win to put you at the top of the La Liga standings while keeping a clean sheet. Everybody comes out of there healthy. We were able to see Pedri back. Welcome back, Pedri. We got some Rooney minutes. We got a Frankie de Jong goal, the first time in over a year. We got another goal from Marc Bernal. That's his second in his career. Like I said, man, it was just like a nice stroll in the park today for Barcelona. Now, we got a tough game coming up next week, but we got all week to focus on it against Villarreal, a top 4 opponent in La Liga. But La Liga is back in control of our hands. We will see what happens in El Clasico, because obviously that's going to really determine who wins La Liga, but the control is definitely back in Barcelona's hands. So as much as I like to find negatives and be a bit critical in my critique, I can't do that today. 3-0, clean sheet, got some players coming back, got some nice team goals. João Cancelo was cooking. I'll take that all day, man. I'll take that all day. But getting into the game, man, Lewandowski went with the Hansi Flick. Imagine if Lewandowski was our coach, that'd be crazy. But Hansi Flick went with his starting 11, where he had Lewandowski up front, starting at the 9. Rafinha and Lamine Yamal on the wings. He had Dani Olmo at the 10. Frankie de Jong and Marc Bernal as the holding midfielders. He went with João Cancelo at left back, Gerard Martin at left center back, Eric Garcia at right center back, Koundé at right back, and obviously Joan Garcia is in goal. An expected change, a few changes that he made, and I can't lie, it's expected. We are playing against Levante, who are at the bottom of La Liga, or at least in the whereabouts. Where are they at right now? Let me double check that. Where are they? Yeah, they're in the relegation zone, sitting at 19. So when you look at the context, bro, like I said, we're at home. We just saw Real Madrid lose yesterday to Osasuna. Shout out to them. So we knew at home against a team that we've never lost or even drawn to at home, and playing against Levante, we have to get all 3 points. And I'm actually happy that we didn't have one of those typical Barcelona performances where we come out against a team we know we're better than, yet we don't really show it in the first half. Hansi Flick gets on them in the second half. They play a lot better, and then they end up winning 3-0, 4-0. That wasn't the case today. They understood that, look, an opportunity has been given to us to go back at the top of the La Liga standings because Real Madrid lost yesterday. So let's not play around with this opportunity. Let's not make this harder than what it needs to be. And let's go out there and let's do what we got to do. And going into the player performances, Joan Garcia, he had an important save to make early on in the game. Right after the kickoff. Maybe like in the 15th second, he had to make a save. Comfortable save, but action already starting, and he had to be on it. So it was a good save from him. he also had another critical save that he had to make. It was like in the 16th minute. We was just talking about. It's a through ball that was played. It goes through Koundé's legs on the outreach of Frenkie de Jong, and Garcia had to step up to make that save, and he did. Outside of that, he really hadn't had much more to do outside of the first 20 minutes. First 20 minutes, he had a couple times he was caught upon, but outside of that, really didn't need much from him. But a solid performance from Jerome Garcia nonetheless. Koundé, I also thought Koundé had a solid performance as well. Few times that he overlapped with Lamine Yamal on that right-hand side. Had a cross that probably should have been scored by Eric Garcia, I believe it was, but it got a touch by a defender at the last second. But a solid performance from Koundé nonetheless. Eric Garcia, for me, was one of the better players on the pitch. Got an assist for the opening goal. He was on the left-hand side. It was a good little cross from Eric Garcia to play that in with his left foot and to find Marc Bernal. And it was a few times defensively that when it was a through ball played in with the high line that we all know that we run, Eric Garcia was ushering out a lot of those passes, or he was getting there first, intercepting them, playing it back to Jerome Garcia. He didn't put a foot wrong going forward as a center back. Really, really good performance from Eric Garcia today. I would say he was our top 3 performer that we had. We're going to get into the other 2. Gerard Martin, I'm going to give him some credit. He was rotated. He started at left center back. And he picked up a yellow card in the first half. So I honestly thought that Hansi, only being up 2-0, was probably going to take him out pretty quick in that second half. But credit to Gerard Martin, because he played essentially the whole game with that yellow card. And when they put in Cortez on the right-hand side, and they ended up putting on Young as well, those are threats that he had to deal with, all while being on a yellow card, and he held his own. When they was trying to play the through balls in behind the space, he was there to be able to intercept it. He was there to be able to usher the defense back. Usher the attack going forward from the left-hand side. But a solid performance from Gerard Martin. His rating maybe come off a little low because he had that yellow card, and he ultimately did get subbed out for Ronald Araujo at the end there. But I thought he held his own, especially considering he had to play most of that match with a yellow card. João Cancelo, for me, man of the match. I know it's against Levante, I know. But this performance today highlights what we've been missing from our fullbacks really all season. We not so much last season, because I felt Balde, for the most part, did his job, did what was asked. But you've seen it today with João Cancelo with the first goal, where he had the wherewithal to do a fake shot. The whole team, especially right there on top of the box, is committing to him looking like he's about to take the shot. Fake shot, instead plays it to Eric Garcia on the left-hand side. Eric Garcia plays a low cross to Marc Bernal. That's how we get our first goal. Barcelona's second goal. Again, when they seen that João Cancelo is on the left-hand side receiving the ball, we got midfielders. We got Marc Bernal in the box. We got Frenkie de Jong in the box. We got Dani Olmo in the box. We got Lewandowski in the box. We got options in the box as soon as João Cancelo got on it, because they knew that he was going to be able to play a through ball in a quality enough pass to where he'll be able to find somebody. And on this occasion, on the second goal that we scored, beautifully low, not a low cross because it was high enough, but it was like at the perfect height to basically just begging anybody to touch that home. And Frenkie de Jong was there, and he was able to score to put us up 2-0. And defensively, I know a lot of people may consider Cancelo a defensive liability, but that wasn't the case. And again, I know that we are going up against Levante, so it's not like this is some of the best attack in the world that he's going to go up against. But this is the type of opponent where if he's going to play, go ahead and put him out there. If you feel that he is a defensive liability, but we're going up against Levante at home, and you feel like they're not going to be much of a threat, then this is a perfect game to go out there and play him. Because not only he held his own defensively, The few times he had a couple interceptions, he had a few tackles, clutch dribbles to break down the press. But like I said, he got the pre-assist for the first goal, and he got the assist on the second goal to Frankie de Jong. Beautiful pass. In my eyes, that was the man of the match. Marc Bernal, really solid performance. It's nice to see that the injury is long behind him. He was really involved in a lot, especially in that first half. Obviously got the opening goal, again making a run into the box. And that's what, his second goal in his career now. I can see why they were saying, and with him coming up the youth ranks, yeah, he's a CDM, but he can score a few goals. And in front of goal, he's very calm. He doesn't really panic like how you would expect a CDM getting an opportunity in front of goal would, but he doesn't do that. Like I said, he scored the goal from Eric Garcia's pass. Then was a few first-time touches that he was making. He's kind of looking like baby Busquets out there. One of my favorite players ever, Busquets. And so to see that we have another one brewing, I won't all the way say it yet because I think Busquets is one of the greatest ever. So it's a lot of expectation to be thrown on Marc Bernal at only 18 years old. But I thought he had a really, really, really good game today. A shame he got a yellow card because I think that yellow card led to him getting subbed out. It was either going to have to be him or Frankie de Jong. So it was probably always going to be him getting subbed out, anticipating Pedri coming back. But a very, very good performance from Marc Bernal. Frankie de Jong, if it wasn't for João Cancelo's performance today, I would have easily said Frankie de Jong was the man of the match. And depending on who you ask, he may have still got the man of the match award. Did everything in that midfield. Obviously, he got him a goal. We just talked about that second goal. The fact that he ran in. It's the goals that he used to score, to be fair. He hasn't scored a goal for Barcelona, I believe, now in over a year, at least in La Liga. Somebody let me know if that is the case. But it's been a while since he scored. But he used to make those kind of runs and be able to finish those at least a few years ago. Not so much now, which is fine because what he offers in the midfield as far as how we control the game, how he runs back to win the ball, the way he runs with the ball to break down the press is what you expect from Frankie de Jong. But when you see it, I don't care who it's against, you have to give him his flowers. This is a really good performance today from Frankie de Jong. Like I said, some people will have him as the man of the match. I wouldn't be mad at that. For me, it's João Cancelo, but a very close second is Frankie de Jong. Rafinha had a few moments. Probably could have had a goal at the end of that second half when Ryan pulled off that crazy double save. But I just love the fact that Rafinha a few times was playing left center back, because he was just wanting to win the ball back. It was one time that he intercepted a pass and it went out for a Levante throw, but he's pumping his fist, getting the crowd hype. This is why Rafinha is so important for us. And yet another game where he's putting in maximum amount of effort in pressing. Had an opportunity here and there as far as in front of goal. I don't think he maybe gave one away. Like as far as like you just left that, you probably should have scored. Now I'm thinking about it. But a solid performance from Rafinha nonetheless. Dani Olmo, didn't really see him at all in that first half, if I'm being honest. He did start to grow into the game in that second half, but he only played about 20 minutes because he got subbed off for Fermin. Wasn't a bad game from Dani Olmo, just didn't really see much of him. They gave him a 6.9 in a match rating, and I guess it makes sense. Like I said, it wasn't because he was bad. It just really, the flow of the attack was really heavily involved in the flanks, and he's not a target man to begin with, so if we're playing everything down the left in that first half and then in the right, Lamine started to get better, we're going down to his side. Unless any of those crosses was coming to Dani Olmo, he just wasn't going to get involved today. So, like I said, it wasn't a bad game from Dani Olmo. He just really wasn't that involved. Same thing for Lewandowski. He did have a cross from, I think it was Koundé. It was from the right-hand side. But it was a really good cross. Rafinha got in front of it, and the way he got in front of it, he was always going to be stretching for that header. Therefore, it wasn't going to be a decent attempt on goal. But the motion in Lewandowski that he had behind that, if he would have got to the end of that, I believe he would have scored. But outside of that moment, he had another moment where he linked up, did well with connecting with Rafinha. But, just didn't come off. Other than that, it's kind of what we've been seeing from Lewandowski's performance. Not to say he was bad, but you're not expecting him to make runs. He's going to be limited on his pressure because, again, that's involving running. He's just a bit older now. So it is what it is. And Lamine Yamal, at least the last in the starting 11. Lamine Yamal, in that first half, he was kind of quiet. I thought Sanchez was doing well for Levante, holding his own. He was also getting some help from his wingers. Hell, it was a time Romero, their striker, was running back to help with Sanchez, and it's what you expect when they're trying to defend Lamine Yamal. They're going to put two on him. But I thought in that second half he got better for sure. He ended up getting that assist, but that was really just all down to what Fermin did for that third goal. But I thought he didn't let the game and his slow start get to him. He just kept going at him. But I thought he had a really good game. Like I said, he grew into that second half, and he ultimately ended up getting subbed out for Rooney. Happy to see Rooney finally get some minutes. But for Lamine Yamal standards, this was a pretty good game today. He got better in that second half. You compare any other 18-year-old and they have this game, they're going to be talking about that type of performance forever. It just kind of shows how crazy Lamine Yamal is, because we see that performance and we like, okay, it wasn't a bad game from Lamine Yamal. Wasn't man of the match-esque, but he was obviously the worst one out there, but he still had an assist. He probably had several key passes made. I'm pretty sure he had a few successful dribbles created. So really good performance from Lamine Yamal again, especially in that second half, but wasn't his best, but definitely wasn't his worst. All in all, from the starting 11, it was a really good performance. And 2 goals came from the starting 11. The third goal came from Fermin Lopez, and I thought when he came on and what he offered from the 66th minute on from at the 10's position was more direct than what Dani Olmo offered. And I get why Hansi went with Dani Olmo, because you probably expected Levante coming in, playing a low block, so we're going to have somebody connect in tight spaces. But when you're up 2-0 and Levante is kind of, trying to find a goal, even though this goal came off a corner and nobody put pressure on him. The fact that he's on the right-hand side, he takes a touch to get a little bit more in, and he's a few yards outside the box, and he bangs that with his left foot. He has some of the most ridiculous finishing within the squad, bro. Like, no doubt. When it comes to finishing, Fermin Lopez is up there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the best finisher at the team. But great goal that he took to give Barcelona the third goal, and at that point you knew it was GG's. Pedri comes on. Happy to see Pedri back. Like, I hate that he gets injured so much, but you just can't take away from the fact that when Pedri's on the pitch, man, the game just looks so much easier, so much calmer. And that's what he adds to the team. We've been holding our own without him, but it's very nice to see that he's back. Didn't really have to do a lot, but the few touches that he had, it just, like I said, just reminds you of what we missed. That bit of calmness over in the midfield. Sometimes Dani Olmo can play that position, but he don't look like Pedri. Marc Bernal had a really good performance today. But, taking all in context, who we're playing, you don't always get that from your other holding midfielder, especially against better opponents when we don't have Pedri. So, to have him back, to have him looking like himself, just to knock some of the cobwebs off, happy that Pedri was able to get some minutes, make an impact here. A couple more subs. Ronald Araujo came on in the 88th minute. He had one clearance that he had to make, kind of like a half bicycle clearance. It was a good clearance. All in all, he didn't really have to do much. Same from Rooney. He got subbed on for 88 minutes. I'm happy he got some minutes. I'm not going to complain too much because of the fact he could be sitting there getting no minutes. But he got a few minutes here today. He had a dribble that he took on well. I think he ended up getting tackled away from the defender at the end, but hopefully, for Rooney's sake, he just keeps his head up. He keeps playing, because I do think he can be a player for us. So while I am disappointed he only got maybe about 5 minutes of playing time, it could be 0, and I'll take that. Rooney FC, we would take that, man. But like I said, man, to start the video, all in all, very impressive performance from Barcelona. Very mature performance from Barcelona. Got all 3 points, kept the clean sheet. We back at the top of the La Liga standings. Everybody got out of there healthy. No silly red cards. And we got Pedri back, man. I cannot complain. I cannot complain at all. If I try to find anything negative about today's performance, I'm forcing it. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to give everybody their flowers that they deserve. And credit to the players and credit to the coaches today. We got a week off. We got Villarreal next, a top 4 opponent in La Liga, so it's not going to be easy. But it's nice to know that La Liga is back under our control. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about today's performance, man. Do y'all agree with me with João Cancelo being the man of the match, or do you have somebody else? Is it Frankie de Jong? Are you happy to see Pedri finally back out there? What you thought about the lineups, man? Just give me your thoughts and your opinions on the game. And if you haven't liked already, please do. I appreciate you making it this far into the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, man. I'm almost at 225. I think I'm 1 subscriber away from 225. And then going on this week, because today I work Friday I work my last day at my current position, so I got more downtime, so expect a little bit more videos, at least until I get into my new position and we see how the hours and all that work around that. But nonetheless, content will still be coming from me, man. So I'm gonna stop blabbering. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna get up with y'all. Until then, two-tone out, man. Peace.